Hello, hello. You're listening to an episode of Thorne in Your Side. And now I'm your host, C. Thorne. This is the podcast where I talk about information and opinions, both popular and non-popular, related to random topics, both serious and non-serious. And feel free to listen because it needs to be said. Besides, you already pressed the play button. So clear your mind, open your ears, and prepare to be entertained and informed. Oh, I'm fine, everyone. I'm just catching my breath. I don't know why, but I think I'm being stalked. No, not the good stalking. The bad kind of stalking. I've been hearing weird sound effects at night. I've seen weird footprints in my front yard. And one of my neighbors said they saw an inhumane shadow moving around my door last night. What's up with that? This nonsense has been happening over the past few days. Who could possibly... No way. Could it be that Snoopy thing or whatever? He was that extremely cute mascot that tried to sell me some dangerous cereal a few weeks ago, but I refused. He does know where I live, so I may have to invest in some security cameras or something. I don't see how celebrities can deal with stalkers. Way too much trouble. And speaking of celebrities, there's a show on television that I've been watching for a while that has a lot of celebrities, but the quality has been declining for quite some time. Yes, I know that describes most, if not all, reality shows. But I'm talking about The Masked Singer. It's a pretty good show, but I think it's time for some major changes. So, to all the fans of The Masked Singer out there, as well as the Fox channel that shows it, I don't mean to be a thorn in your side, but that show either needs to sunset or undergo a huge revamp. Seriously, that show needs to undergo some changes or just stop making new episodes. Background information. The Masked Singer is a singing competition in which random celebrities are dressed up in costumes and give a singing/dancing performance on stage in front of the audience. The panel of judges try to guess who the celebrity is based on the clue packages and the person's singing voice. At the end of each episode, the celebrity with the least popular performance, decided by the judges and audience, has to unmask himself or herself and is sent home while the other celebrities move on to the next round. At the end of the season, one celebrity is crowned the winner. That's basically it. The problem is that half of the show is good, while the other half is just stupid. The good half of the show is that the celebrities have some really cool costumes during their performances. I will admit that the only reason why I still pay attention to the show is because of the costumes. They be looking really nice. The singing performances are pretty good as well, but the costumes are what stand out the most. Mythical creatures, food, insects, animals, objects, monsters. There's been a bunch of crazy costumes over the years. In fact, they remind me of some of the costumes you see on an episode of Power Rangers. Yeah, That's exactly what they remind me of. An anthropomorphic version of an inanimate object, which describes most of the monsters you see in that Super Sentai series. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised at all if some of the costumes from the Masked Singer were inspired by some of the monsters from the Power Rangers franchise. It also reminds me of a show that used to come on Sci-Fi Channel called Face Off. That was a competition series where a bunch of makeup artists have to create costumes each episode that fits a certain theme. It lasted for several seasons, and it was a pretty cool show to watch. And it got nasty at times, but I digress. Anyway, the costumes and the performances is the reason why half of the Masked Singer is good. As I said before, they look really cool, and the performances are always full of energy. They should probably calm down with the flashing lights since they shouldn't want the viewers to get a seizure. But other than that, I enjoy looking at the costumes. So much creativity. Unfortunately, there is the other half of the Masked Singer that is just stupid. Basically, it's the part of the show where the judges and the audience try to guess the identity of the celebrity who's wearing a costume. 2 words. Who cares? How the heck am I supposed to know who's in that costume? It can be anyone who has ever been relevant. And that includes athletes, politicians, actors, singers, online personalities, chefs, talk show hosts, reality stars, and much more. Oh, wait. Did I mention puppets as well? I kid you not. Kermit the Frog was a singer on this show. Who would have guessed that? Nobody. It's almost impossible to guess any of the celebrities on the show because, as I said, it can be anyone who has ever been relevant. Yes, I know there are clue packages for each celebrity. So, and the clue packages are almost always useless. And they only make sense after we find out the celebrity's identity. If you want to guess the celebrity's identity, then your best bet is to just piggyback off the judges because it's pretty obvious that they know who it is in those costumes. Maybe not all of them, but I'm willing to bet that the identity of each celebrity is already known to at least one judge because some of their guesses are too accurate to be a coincidence. The fact that one of the judges was able to guess the 3 brothers from the Brady Bunch show, who were all child stars from the 1970s that have been off the radar for decades, clearly means she already knew who they were. There is no way she could have guessed so accurately from a borderline useless clue package. There's just no way. Those judges know much more than you think because, as I said earlier, it can be anyone who has ever been relevant. Then again, there are times in which the judges might purposely pretend not to know who someone is just to keep them around, especially if it's a legendary singer. This was pretty obvious since the earlier seasons. In fact, I remember watching an episode of The Masked Singer with someone else while at my parents' house. I forgot which season it was, but one of the celebrities was dressed up in a very pretty flower costume, and her code name was Flower. By the way, everyone, all the celebrities are given nicknames based on their costumes in order to keep their identities a secret. This celebrity was wearing a flower costume, which means her nickname is Flower. Just like a celebrity wearing a pineapple costume is nicknamed Pineapple. That was an actual costume, by the way. I forgot his name, but it was a celebrity from an earlier season, if not season 1. Tommy Chung, I believe. Anyway, while another person and I was watching Flower give a stunning performance with powerful vocals, my mother walked by. And after listening to Flower for at most 3 seconds, she says, that's Patti LaBelle. Isn't that hilarious? Flower turned out being Patti LaBelle. My mother was able to guess her identity after hearing her sing for just a few seconds. Yet the judges on the show, who all claim to be gurus of pop culture, honestly expect us to believe that they have no clue who's wearing these costumes after hearing them sing a full song. Come on, people. I'm pretty sure they know the identity of each celebrity, especially the legendary singers, since they most likely have a very recognizable singing voice. As for the celebrities who aren't singers, well, the judges probably have a cheat card, extra clues, or something. Because as I said already, it can be anyone who has ever been relevant. Just to remind you, I had no plans of being a thorn in your side. But the Masked Singer just isn't as good as it used to be. This might sting a bit, but the celebrities are becoming more obscure with each season. I think it's on season 9 right now. And honestly, there are some celebrities on that show that I didn't know existed until after they take the mask off. Yes, I'm sure all these celebrities were really popular at some time within the past century, but some of them stopped being relevant before I was born. I'm pretty sure most, if not all of the viewers, especially the younger ones, watch The Masked Singer for the costumes and performances and don't care at all about the celebrities inside the costumes, which makes sense. A lot of sense. As with mascots, their identity shouldn't matter as long as they entertain their audience, which is why the costumes should be the main attraction of the show instead of outdated celebrity power. And speaking of costumes, and I probably said this already, but some of the costumes look really cool. Out of all the ones I remember, my favorite was Dragon. He was an anthropomorphic dragon wearing Japanese samurai attire. I'll say it again. A dragon wearing a Japanese samurai costume. Man, that's 150% epic. As soon as I saw it, it instantly became my favorite costume. Dragons are one of my favorite fictional creatures, and I just love them so much. Seriously, they're just the best. They're just awesome. Unfortunately, the dragon was the first one sent home during his season, which was very disappointing. And it sucked. What the heck, judges? What the heck? How could you? How could you send home that super cool dragon? Now, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he got sent home early due to his voice being too intimidating for the majority of the viewers. After all, the celebrity inside the dragon costume was none other than a popular rapper, Busta Rhymes. And let's just say he has a very deep, intimidating 1990s rap voice and sung an equally intimidating song. I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out. That's an actual song, by the way. But I digress. My final point is that if you pretty much believe that The Masked Singer is fine the way it is, and that there shouldn't be any major changes, then I disagree completely. It's been around for 9 seasons, and the drop in quality is quite noticeable, especially because of the change in format. In the early seasons, only one celebrity per episode would get sent home, while the other celebrities in that same episode would move on to the next round. In the more recent seasons, only one celebrity per episode goes to the next round, while the other celebrities in that same episode are sent home. Seeing a costume perform one time isn't fair, and it's a waste of a good costume. Also, the show needs to stop dedicating so much time to the judges trying to figure out this celebrity's identity. It's the worst part of the show because most, if not all, of the viewers won't have a clue who these people are, especially the younger ones. There are plenty of times in which the judges throw out a bunch of names, and I'm thinking, I've never heard those names before. Who are those people? I have no idea who those people are. No idea whatsoever. Remember, it can be anyone who has ever been relevant. If this show gets another season, which is very likely, then I'm hoping it'll go back to the previous format and focus less on the celebrity identities and more on the performances and costumes. If not, then this show will slowly but surely continue being a live action version of that Guess Who board game. That board game was boring and was very controversial at times. But I digress. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Thorne and Your Side. And now I'm your host, C. Thorne. Ooh, yeah. Feel free to subscribe, tweet, share, follow, comment, react, post, and all that other good stuff. And there'll be another crazy cool episode next week. And remember, be smart and stay sharp.